last year was like, wow, fireworks, everything. And I'm thinking, wow, I made it. And this year I was like, I need to be humble again because it's tough.
This is Frederique Bros. She makes over $100,000 a year as a beauty and lifestyle YouTuber for women over 40. Frederique found success sharing fashion, style, and beauty tips with a French twist in 2020 when her web design business went under due to COVID. In a relatively short period of time, she not only grew a successful brand, awarding her more income than she had made previously, but she's been able to build an engaged community and attract the attention of top fashion brands. In this episode, we're going to talk about what attracted people to her and allowed for her to make money, how she builds valuable relationships with fashion and beauty brands, the moment that humbled her the most and how she's climbing out of it, and how her relationship with YouTube has become incredibly complicated. Frederique shares us her strong feelings about her money-making journey and how she's still gaining profits while rebuilding and growing. Becoming a full-time YouTuber is the dream, but how can you financially get there? Welcome to The Funded YouTuber, where we sit down with successful YouTubers to dive headfirst into the money-making side of being a full-time YouTuber and creator. We will be breaking down their paths to full-time income, sharing struggles, exposing their victories, and literally mapping out their income streams, how they got them, and what they are working on next. The Funded YouTuber is brought to you by GigaStar. Inspired by YouTubers like you with the vision to fuel human creativity, GigaStar brings creators and investors together. To get us started, tell us what kind of content it is that you create on YouTube.
I've been almost now 4 years on YouTube. It would be 4 years in January. It goes so quickly. And I help women to elevate their style in terms of beauty, styling tips. And I'm going to do a little bit more now in a healthy one as well. Talk about more eating healthy, especially over 50 and keeping the weight, etc.
Okay. Now, what is it that got you started with creating on YouTube?
By trade, I'm a graphic web designer. So I had a web agency before COVID, and then COVID happened. And like a lot of people, my life changed completely because I lost a lot of clients. And I was already creating some videos, but it was a bad website, which no one was watching. No wonder. And then I thought, why can I bring something different? And the fact that I'm French and I can speak English not so badly, I thought, let's give a try. And I started. And of course, like everybody, it was terrible. I didn't have money for a proper camera or sound. But as a digital marketing strategist, I knew the IT side. So that helped me a lot. And then one of the video blew up and then it keeps going. And then I found out not only creating videos was fun, but the most important was having this amazing community because I was not prepared for that. And I was like, wow. And then it started and then I love it.
When did you experience income as a creator that made you think, I really can do this full time?
The first 6 months, it was not much because the time the algorithms, and I'm going to talk a lot about them, start to find you on YouTube, start to understand your keywords, start to understand who to show your videos to the right audience. You don't make much. And of course, you have a little number of subscribers, so a little of views and watching and time watching, etc. When one of my video got viral, and it took 6 months to get viral, which was very funny. And I almost in panic. It was like 30,000 views per day. And I gained 30,000 subscribers in one video. And this video blew up financially as well. And suddenly I was like, this is the bulb idea. And I'm like, this is how YouTubers make money. More views, more money from a YouTube partnership. But it's a little bit more complex than that because if it was so easy. Yes. So sorry. I think that I answered to your question. And then I thought, okay, I was calculating roughly per video per month because you never know if one video is going to not work or just being pushed up by YouTube recommendation or not. And then you never plan in advance how much money you can make. You just have a range per month and say, okay, it's going to be, I don't know, for example, between 3 to 5K per month. And sometimes it's less, sometimes it's more. When it's more, you're just like, oh my God, it's going to be like that every month. And no, it's not. It's not.
So, what were the circumstances that let you go into being a full-time YouTuber? Like, what was the catalyst for like, I don't have to do web work anymore. I can just focus on this YouTuber thing. And what were the components that you had built up to allow for that to happen?
Well, simply because we were in lockdown, I had no more work or only a little from my existing clients from my web agency. And I thought, if I'm going to become a content creator, a YouTuber, I'm going to do it 150%. So I learned as much as I could. Improved myself. I improved the way I'm talking, the way you do the hook, the editing, etc. And you need to be bad at the beginning when you start on YouTube. I mean, it's very rare that you're going to be good straight away. You need the strategy in mind. You need to prepare your videos. And I had time and I thought, you know what? I don't want to eat chips all day and drinking wine and watch TV. I did during COVID. Who didn't? But I thought I want to use my time in a better way. And soon I start seeing some income. I thought, wow, this can be a full-time job if done properly and seriously.
Now, what is it about what you talk about, which is helping elevate women over 50 through their style, that attracts people and also allows for you to make money from it?
At the beginning, I was more making money about the French style, the French skincare, the French perfume. And I was actually one of the only one almost at the beginning of YouTube 4 years ago. But I got copied a lot and I got annoyed. But the fact that I lived 10 years in Paris and at the beginning I was really frumpy. I'm going to say that politely. I learned as well in a hard way with Parisian women and the fact to be French. And then I just love helping people to be better in their life and to look better, to do better things for their skin. It doesn't mean you're 50, your life is ending. Actually, it's quite the beginning. And then on top of that, you always analyze your audience on YouTube. And at the time when I started, I just turned 50 this year. So I was still in my 40s. I insist on that. And, and it was like 40, but I realized my audience was mainly 40 to 65 actually. And surprisingly, not only it's a niche on YouTube, but it's actually a big audience. And I thought at the beginning, I was resisting the idea because I was completely in denial that I was turning 50. And then I thought, you know what? Let's do it. Let's just help those ladies. And it's actually such a nice community because, I mean, you still got like a couple of idiots on comments, but now you get used to it. But usually, when I say usually, they're quite lovely and very supportive. And then I thought, wow, why, but it's always a journey. YouTube is not happening in 3 months' time. It's always a journey in your head, the way you organize your work, the way you're communicating with your community, etc. It's a big journey and it's a big learning curve as well.
Tell us about your community. What are they like? How are they coming together and how are they funding you?
They're fantastic. They're fantastic. They're mainly American. Big percentage, almost 45% of my audience is from the US. And then I got Canada and UK. So this is the main, and it's also Australia, but it's like 5%. And it's different. They will not miss something if I messed up in one of the video or if I didn't have a proper sound or if the light is reflecting too much in my glasses. But if I don't wear glasses, I can't see anything. I'm like, oh, I'm looking like that on my video. So it's not sexy. It's very direct because again, they have no filters, but actually I find them very honest. And I have as well another committee via the newsletter. And on the newsletter, I'm a little bit more personal. I'm just told them more what's happening in my life, etc. But yeah, they're fantastic. They're just fantastic. But they're hard, but they're fantastic.
One of the great things I love about what we're doing with the Funded YouTuber is that we are able to connect with you as a YouTuber and we find out the different income streams that you have for your business because we're trying to help build money transparency so other people know what options are available to them as they start building their creator businesses. So what you've broken down is that you have 30% of your income comes from AdSense and you have 20% that comes from sponsorships and 10 from affiliates. Talk with us about how you've been able to get your sponsorships and what affiliate marketing looks like for you.
Okay, I just want to let you know those numbers are based on this year. And I'm sure this year is a little bit more difficult than the last 2-3 years because of the recession, because even if it's a soft one, I can feel it big time.
Same.
And going back to YouTube, the algorithm is updated regularly and it's very hard to predict in advance this type of income. So everything is based on the number of followers or subscribers and as well the number of views. At the beginning of the year, I thought, oh, I'm going to be with an agency, and it didn't last long. I didn't like the approach. I didn't like the fact they wanted to access to my existing clients that I've been building relations for the last 2-3 years. And I thought I can do better, but this year I changed a lot of things. I went in a few directions to actually realizing this is what I should stick to it. And so now it's mainly, I keep the relationship that I have with brands for the 2-3 years. That's my bread and butter, if I may say, and then have spontaneous approach by other brands. And you remove 90% of it because a lot are BS, okay? Or they just like, oh yeah, just $50. I'm like, are you serious? Anyway. And some are new, so you're a little bit more prudent as well in terms of payment and contract agreement, etc. But I'm a little bit of a control freak and try to have an agenda at the beginning. I just realized actually I would rather to have less sponsored videos or opportunities, but have more control and still having a great relationship with the brands than having a sponsor every videos and I'm just a machine. So for the affiliates is different as well. An Amazon influencer. So that was really good year last year. This year, again, they changed a lot. I used to do a lot of video reviews for them and things like that. And I can see the revenue is dropping big time, but I'm still keeping it. And in terms of affiliates, I'm still using a lot of Amazon because again, it's always based on my community. It's not for me. It's mainly where my community from, where can I buy similar products or the same. But I have other times of income and I'm building 2-3 more things now coming soon, by the way.
That's awesome. So, as a creator in the fashion and sort of lifestyle beauty space, I know that so many women specifically are trying to break into that vertical. What advice can you give them to build valuable brand partnerships that are not these like come and go relationships, but can actually be like have longevity and consistent where you can have a true partnership with them?
All right. I'm going to give you something I never shared before, but it's based on my personal experience. I do believe fashion brands are more stable than beauty. The
Okay.
beauty, sometimes they launch a product, they launch something and then it's going to be finished. It's a campaign. Okay. But clothes, in my experience, is mainly by a season. And after you got another season, you got obviously fall and winter, and then you got spring, summer. So it's something more regular in a year. With some beauty brands, it depends which one, it depends which type of influencer. I'm not 30 years old and a model, and I see some girls doing so well, especially on Instagram. Instagram is more like a beauty platform, in my opinion, and I do believe more in fashion because you need to show the clothes a little bit longer. You need to talk about it, and styling is the long-term videos help for that on YouTube. So my advice will be not giving up and don't be greedy of having a tons of sponsored. In my opinion, it's better to have only a few, but really good quality one, having amazing, healthy, nice relationship with the brands and grow together. Because I can tell one of the brand I worked with 4 years ago, the type of agreement, the type of things we were doing. And now they have a proper just a web page for that. And you got for 6 pages. And I'm like, oh yeah, they're learning too. It's fantastic, actually.
That's amazing. How do you go about finding brands that want long-term partnerships? Like, what are the steps that you go through to find the right people to talk to that want to work with creators that create quality content and have long relationships?
I tried many things. I tried creating a list of brands that I would like to work with and approach them. Didn't work for me. And then I tried to go to some of those influencer platform. You create your profile, you create your rates, and then the brands are going to rush to you. It's not working as well. But because maybe my niche is quite specific as well. But I do believe if you're gorgeous and you're 30s, you have more competition. So mainly is keep being consistent and keep delivering quality content on mainly on YouTube and on Instagram. And I think the brands are finding you. I know it sounds a bit crazy to say that, but I'm not really looking for them. First of all, I don't have much time and I'm not into this thing because I'm creating other incomes in parallel. So I need time as well to create my other businesses. And it's so much time. It's so much money for 2 minutes video insertion. People have no idea the hours behind emails and contracting, oh, the negotiating and coming back. And then, of course, you do your research and you film. That's easy. You say that in 2 seconds in front of a microphone, but it's hours. I just did it last weekend. This is why you're so fresh. And then you do the editing and you're editing for the sponsor. You send the draft and then, oh, yeah, but can you change? Blah, blah, blah. It just like forever, you know? So it's a lot of work. We making look easy, which is great for brands. I love it, but it's so time consuming. But it can be good money as well. But again, brands having difficulties with recession as well this year. So I believe a lot of YouTubers could feel it. We don't have as much brand deals like we did in the last 2 years. I always keep my income on a kind of a spreadsheet. It's a little bit more sophisticated than that, but every month, and I can see comparing last year or the last 2 years. 2 years I started. Last year was like, wow, fireworks, everything. And I'm thinking, wow, I made it. And this year I was like, wow, I need to be humble again because it's tough.
Girl, same. I have had a very interesting year. I feel like what happened in the creator economy is like we had the big explosion of views and attention in 2020. And then 2021 was this year where everyone was like, yeah, I could totally do this. And in 2022, the businesses followed and were like, yeah, we need to get in on this. Like we need to tap that ATM machine of the creator economy. All these VC companies came out of the woodwork and all of these like things to support creators. And we're also in like the NFT space had happened. There's so many things in 2022. And then 2020, and it was great. And 2023 hit and it became this year of like, I feel like this combination of reality check and regulation. I feel like we ran into this space like FCC stepped in with different kinds of problems and situations to help with managing ads and expectations and all this stuff. We also ran into, there was the fraud cases around NFTs and the companies that were getting in trouble for all of that. We also ran into issues where it's like the brands that were helping creators in so many ways decided to step in and like mess with how their process worked to take from creators. What you said exactly about the Amazon Creator Program, I made a lot of money in 2022 from the Creator Program, and it was a really great way to help support my family while my agency was in flux and trying to figure out what to do. And I went into 2023 with like a plan and agenda to continue to keep doing the program and work it and do these other things. And it was like in the beginning of the year, they're just like, let's just mess with this. And then later in the year, like, let's mess with this other part. And it doesn't pay out nearly as well as it did before. We're dealing, I feel like right now in the 2023 space as we end this year, now when we're recording this, is that I also got really oversaturated. Like, and all of the different parts, businesses, managers, programmers, systems, tools, and creators themselves. And it can be very hard to navigate. And I feel like what we had in 2024, we're going to have, I think, a really big equal out of the whole thing. Like we had this like big flux. And I feel like now we're going to equal out to see like who sustained, who maintained, and who was able to do it. And hopefully the platforms like the Facebooks, the Instagrams, the YouTubes can really level out to get back to supporting creators, not just advertisers and viewers, because we're the ones that make people come back.
I agree, but I have an opinion, a strong one. By the way, I just want to let you know, I listened to one of your podcasts when you were talking about Amazon last year. It was fabulous because I listened to your tips. I remember so clearly. I'm like, why haven't thought about that? So I changed my strategy and it was a good year too. To be honest with you, I want to be realistic here. I'm going to talk mainly about YouTube. I can feel it now. What I do with the analytics, I compared a lot of my popular videos in terms of watch time and revenues. And from this year I had really bad year on YouTube. It's picking up, but we will see for next year. And I can tell it's just even this year when I'm looking at the revenues for one video based on the number of views, based on the watch time for how long people stay minimum on the video, it doesn't make sense comparing even last year, in fact, because I'm really into numbers. And I'm like, they definitely, okay, I'm going to say something strong. I don't believe they support creators like they used to a few years ago. Now it's all about money. It's all about the type of advertising they're going to place inside of our videos, we have zero control. We have zero transparency, by the way. And yeah, so I don't think this is going to change, but because now they have a big competition with TikTok, at least on the shorts, they try to liven up, but they better to change it a lot, because I see a lot of people leaving YouTube or doing more things. I thought about quitting YouTube 10,000 times this year, but I love it. But it's because of my community I'm staying. But financially, this is not my main income like it used to be before. But because of the community that are creating with the help of YouTube, and I thank so much, I mean, so thankful about YouTube, but you know, the hours, the work behind one video, and then YouTube just pushing you. You should post more often. Yes, of course. But if you post 2 long videos per week, it's so much work. And then, I mean, at the end, we're human, you know, we need to sleep, we need to have a social life and have time to clean the house, for God's.
I really resonate with what you're saying because that has said so much like my year as well. I've thought about like I'm just gonna start over. I'm just gonna pivot and do something else. I have a whole plan with like a long laundry list of like other videos for another channel I want to make that's about like staring down 40 or something like that, right? And I've totally been there. And I the same exact thing is like, why are the numbers so down? Like, what is going on? And I feel like what has happened with YouTube from income perspective is that they put so much work into shorts, but literally, when you listen to all of the people who are leaders in the creator space, Colin and Samir, the Tube Filter, all of them, they're like, don't do shorts. Like it's not sustainable. It has no longevity. If you're gonna like people like that are moving from TikTok going to YouTube because it has longevity and investing in long form content. There's this whole there are creators that have found massive success from shorts content, but they literally abandon their channels and go do something different or a new channel with long form content similar to what they were doing because they've been tapped. And I think what also happened with YouTube this year that I think we haven't caught up to yet is while so many of us as creators, especially ones that have been around for a few years, we're more veterans in the space, YouTube is not designed for human beings to grow. Like, so we're not allowed to change what we're interested in or change what we talk about or pivot into other things. And in fact, what has happened instead is YouTube has gone really, really narrow and really, really specific. Like in my case, it doesn't just want me to talk about social media, which is a specific kind of marketing. It wants me to talk about one specific platform and then just live in that platform and only talk about that platform until I die. Because if I don't do that, my analytics will reflect that it's not going to do poorly. And I have seen over the past 60 days in the end of 2023, my channel just like take a nosedive because while I'm still talking about the general same thing, it's not specific enough. And I've talked to quite a few other people that I admire and that I've learned from, that I've been coached by, and they've all experienced the same thing. And so it's been interesting, and it is all affecting all of our revenues across the board, which I think goes into this thing. As fantastic as YouTube is, and fantastic as YouTube is a starting ground, which is just a starting ground for or a launching point for our brands and business, we have to think bigger picture. Like, okay, how can I use this audience that I'm building to build a brand, build a community, and these other revenue streams away from the platform?
That's right. So don't create a new YouTube channel in mind that you're going to make money out of it, but think always about the community. But I definitely align with you with all you said about YouTube this year I tried as well at the beginning of the year to do a little bit different. I wanted to do more video reaction and more talking about social media, a little bit more not challenging, but I thought,
Variety.
hey, you know what? I can talk something else outside of lipstick and wearing heels and a black blazer with a straight leg jeans. And I feel like I was punished. And it cost me a lot financially, mentally as well. And I thought, oh, wow. And the only video who really did well, almost now 400,000 views, guess what? I was demonetized. And I thought,
Oh no.
yep. The only good video did well. And I thought, okay. And then, of course, my committee say, hey, you know what? We love your topics, but can you please stick to what we used to? do styling. And now because I moved to another country, I knew my wardrobe would shrink. I knew I couldn't buy $400-500 per month more clothes because I got a bit sick of the waste and for the environment. So I change as well. I evaluate. And then when you evaluate and you want to do something a little bit maybe more developed, I'm going to say, it doesn't work with YouTube because at the end of the day, I'm going to be a bit strong on this one. It's a robot. It's IA. It's just algorithm and is only concentrate on the keyword that you've been starting a channel 4 years ago, whatever the number of years, and then with particular topics. But we are changing. We want to talk about something else. And YouTube or even Instagram, by the way, doesn't like it. Stick to your niche, always talk about the same thing. And I'm like, I don't want in the next 10 years talking about fashion and styling tips. I mean, how many styling tips can I share with the years? Sometimes I'm like, I'm sick.
Almost become like you need like review. It's like review brands and that you've styled or something. Let me style Ralph Lauren or something. But that also I could see being very expensive and very tedious as well. That's why I love your next income stream that you have that makes up 25% of your income, which is courses and digital products. So share with us what your courses and digital products are and how you've integrated them into your YouTube content creation.
Okay, so as you know, YouTube, let's say in average, when you edit it, a video would be between 10 to 15 minutes. I'm not going to talk about the strategy inside, etc., because you know as well. But you cannot, and because of YouTube, because of the niche and the keywords and the hashtag, you need to talk about something specific. I'm going to say 10 trench coats to look classy in winter. Okay. So you need to talk about trench coat. Okay. You cannot talk about suddenly red lipstick. I mean, I'm exaggerating, but this is it. So even if I'm helping women with my styling tips or my French, whatever touch, I'm still very constrained. And I thought this is not enough. So when I creating my styling course couple of years ago, I wanted to do a full module about body shape and body type because a lot of women still don't know where their body is. And until you're not defining, and trust me, I still got comments almost every day said, oh, now I know I thought I was a pear, but actually I'm an hourglass, or etc. And it's changed completely the way you are going to emphasize your body or some assets maybe you want to add and maybe some assets. It's just like absolutely gorgeous and you should show it. So this module, it's probably, I would say, at least an hour, maybe 2 hours of videos. Each video is at 2-3 minutes. I cannot do that on YouTube. So being more personal with my community and creating an online course was so important. And then I update this course every year. Every year I refilm it. I create more modules. I'm polishing because again, we're changing, we're getting better and better. And the beauty of it is all the things we've been learning via social media in the last few years. Even if someone is starting now and blow up, we learn so much. I mean, the knowledge, no one can change that in us. And we are so flexible as creators. I mean, sometimes I'm like, oh my gosh, 4 years ago, didn't even know how to use a camera. So my online course is a big income for me because mainly people know they have a full lifetime access and they can access to me personally and they take their time. It's not just a video, it's going to be cut off with advertising. It's a one-on-one and I really love this approach. But funnily, pushing my online course on Instagram works much better than on YouTube. You see?
Very
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah. I testing that last year and this year I was pushing more on Instagram and my newsletter. It works much better than on YouTube. And I thought that's very interesting. So YouTube love it, but they want you to push people to watch over more videos. They don't want you to talk about something else and get out of the platform. Oh my gosh.
Scandalous, scandalous. No, I think this is important. Like YouTube is a great catalyst. And I think that it's a great way for people to build incomes and empires and brand build, but it can't be an all be all. Like we should never put all of our eggs in one basket. Diversifying is really important. We diversify our income. We should diversify the platforms that we are spending time on. And so I think that this is a totally necessary conversation to have and to expand where you are, especially because of the kind of content you create. You're in the fashion and lifestyle space. So it makes total sense to support your main content of YouTube with the secondary platform that is Instagram. In fact, when I am presenting to creators and business professionals, that's exactly what I tell them to do. Like, use this place as a way to collect people and get them and attract them, but nurture the relationship over in a secondary platform where you can be more yourself, have more personality, do the growth, the awkward BTS sort of stuff, and be more flawed and organic than you can be on YouTube. Because again, YouTube wants you to be something really specific. And while there's nothing wrong with that, like from their perspective, because there's always creators and people figuring it out and doing this stuff, and like where we are currently with YouTube, it really wants you to be super hyper focused. It's okay to build out in other places.
True.
I do have a question for you, Frederique. Now, I always like to know what it is that creators are doing next. Like, so what is your next plan here? And does it include doing something with membership or your community? Because you've talked so much about community. I'm wondering if that's your next move.
Okay, so I'm right now creating a couple of digital products that I want to try on an e-commerce on my own website, and maybe Etsy. I never try Etsy. Maybe it's just ideas, but I mean, it's not ideas actually. It's there, but I just need to find the time outside of YouTube to have more time for my own business, because that's mainly for my community. And then in terms of membership, so at the beginning of the year, I thought, hey, I'm going to open a Patreon because of my community, mainly, where they're based geographically. It's always for them. And I thought, no, I don't have time. I just do not have time. I thought about as well creating another YouTube channel that maybe I will tell you next year about that. But for the membership, I think you need to have on YouTube, if you do that, you need to have a lot of views, a lot of subscribers. I've seen some doing very well with membership, just maybe having like $3, $5 range per month. And in exchange, your community have those type of emoji and stickers so you can see them better in the comment section, etc. I thought about it. I just don't have time to do it. I don't know if it is really worth it. I tried 1 year ago to do, what's the name of it? Merchandising. I did a bit, a couple of t-shirts, something a bit different. It worked, but financially it didn't worth it for me. So I'm always sometimes it's just better to ask your community directly, because sometimes they really want to support you, but sometimes they still need direction, I'm going to say. So, oh my gosh, my mind is going all 1,000 directions right now. Sorry, I'm trying to stay focused, which is very hard for me.
I've got you hyped up.
I got a
I'm
little
totally
bit of
fine with that.
ADD, but you know that already.
No,
Okay.
I think it's great. I love the idea of you doing more digital products and building that out and figuring out what your next move is, and like sometimes figuring out your next step is, how do I get to an equilibrium with what I'm doing? And I think that that's, again, it's very important to know, like, not everything is about the next move, the next growth, the next thing. Sometimes it's about maintenance and rebuilding. And I think that that is what you are heading into. And I love that for you, because you're rebuilding your life in a new place. Like, you've gotten to move to Bali, which is such an amazing amount of freedom and lifestyle growth for you, and so many fun things that you get to do, which I know we haven't got to talk about, but like, that's an amazing thing that you get to do, because you're a creator. And, as you build a new life here, and we're going to rebuild that YouTube channel, maybe we'll do like a 1 year later episode, and you can talk about like all of the success and things that you did over the year to build up your channel. I think that's a great measurement.
We love talking with each other. So I know it's going to happen again. Every time I see your name on my email, I'm
It
like,
will.
ooh, Desiree. Oh, hi, she.
Yeah. I also think that it's important to talk about one of the things that you're going to be doing next year, which is collaborations, which I don't think you've done before, right?
No, I haven't. I tried a couple of years, and like everybody, I mean, we are not exceptional. Everybody is busy, have their own agenda. And it's like, yeah, yeah, yeah. But I haven't actually. So, and I don't even know how to approach other YouTubers out of the blue and just say, hey, my name is Frederique. This is what I do. Would you like to do a video together? So maybe I should maybe think a little bit more seriously about that. But it's true. And I think as well, it can be a demand from your audience because obviously they don't just watch you on YouTube, and based on the analytics, you can always see who they're watching and you're like, oh, maybe I should reach out. But the only issue for me is always the time difference, especially when you want to do a live streaming, but there's always a solution. So yes, you're right. Right now, I'm in touch with one of the other YouTuber, which she's fantastic. And thank you to you for introducing to each other.
It's Gabby, who's another guest. She's a guest on the funded YouTuber as well.
And me 2 days ago, oh, I've just come back from a holiday. I'm busy. Christmas coming. I'm like, I know. So we're gonna push it to January, but we're gonna make a great video together, and that's gonna be very exciting. I'm so jealous of her hair, by the way. Oh, the hair is beautiful.
I'm sure she feels the same way about the style. Like I said, I love the idea of complementary partnerships. Like it would make so much sense to me to partner with somebody who understands like Facebook ads because that's not my jam at all, you know? Like, and so I love this idea of you two coming together because she helps women with style over 40 and 50 and or with hair and makeup, and you help with style, and it's like the perfect marriage. And I really feel that like collaborations are like going to be on the rise next year because as we're not able to be individuals who are multi-passionate, we can still tap into other related audiences, and those collaborations I think will be a nice hack.
I totally agree with you. I think we should do more.
One of my favorite things about what I've gotten to do as a creator, like I not only am I a creator, like I do love creating as someone who's been an artist their whole life. Like there's pictures of me at my table making and creating things, and old home videos of like I had an art wall in my parents' house. Like I've always loved to make and create things. What I've truly have loved getting to do over the past couple of years in the creator economy space is go to events and just hang with people and talk with them and learn about their journeys and like what they're dealing with and how they're going to conquer them and like what they want to do. And being able to like listen to them and support them in any way that I can, because then eventually I can find somebody else that like they can help each other or they can work together, or like, hey, do you know so and so? You guys would be a great like brand partnership, or you should be in just email. You guys should do this stuff together. Like that's so fulfilling for me, and I love that I get to do that. And what's really cool is now I'm learning how to like I'm like making money haphazardly because of it as well. So I think that it's really fun, and I anyone I can help, I always will. Thank you so much for sharing your story, your journey about this. I love the honesty and the rawness that you have been able to do. And I love that you are fighting to keep giving to your community and making it work for you. So I'm so excited for what you have coming up for you, Frederique. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, my love. I give you big, big kisses. Always lovely chatting with you. And let's see what 2024 is waiting for us. You know, it's going to be fun. It's going to be hard, but it's going to be fun.
We got this.
Thank you.
The Funded YouTuber is brought to you by GigaStar, a parent company of GigaStar Market, an SEC-registered funding portal and member of FINRA. Learn more at gigastar.io. Music provided by APM Music, unrivaled music to bring your stories to life. Neither GigaStar nor its affiliated companies provide legal, regulatory, financial, or tax advice. Any opinions expressed herein are those of the authors and are the informational purposes only. The information and opinions expressed herein are subject to change without notice and do not take into account the particular investments, objectives, financial situation, or needs of any specific investors.